Before starting, put the auto-generated YouTube subtitles in French or your mother tongue to get everything, and slow down or speed up the pace as needed. If you don't have time to watch it, just listen this video as a podcast while doing something else. Now listen and learn English as exploring our world. We humans have gazed up at the stars for millennia, pondering our place in the cosmos. But what about the ultimate question? What happens after our time in this universe comes to an end? Is death the final curtain call? Or could there be something more? For centuries, the afterlife has been the domain of philosophers and theologians. But now, science is daring to investigate what lies beyond the veil, seeking evidence, data, and perhaps even answers. From the depths of human consciousness to the frontiers of quantum physics, researchers are exploring the boundaries of life and death. Today, we'll delve into 10 scientific experiments that are attempting to unlock the secrets of the afterlife. Are you ready to explore the universe of the unknown? Let's begin our journey. The human brain is the most complex structure in the known universe. It's responsible for our thoughts, emotions, memories, and our very sense of self. But what happens to this intricate network when the heart stops beating and clinical death sets in? In 2023, a team of researchers at the University of Michigan made a startling discovery. They observed a sudden surge in gamma brainwave activity in patients who had just experienced cardiac arrest. Gamma waves are the high-frequency electrical oscillations in the brain, often associated with consciousness, meditation, and memory recall. The fact that this activity spiked after the patients were declared clinically dead presents a fascinating puzzle. Could this be the brain's final farewell? A last burst of activity before it powers down for good? Or could it be a sign that consciousness persists even after the body shuts down? The researchers involved in the study were cautious about drawing conclusions about the afterlife. They emphasized that these findings are preliminary and require further investigation. However, the implications are undeniably profound. If brain activity, and specifically activity linked to consciousness, can continue after the heart stops, it challenges our fundamental understanding of death. It also raises the question of whether these patients were experiencing something during those final moments, a last flicker of awareness as they transitioned from life to... what? This study is just one piece of a much larger puzzle, but it highlights the potential for scientific inquiry to shed light on the mysteries of life and death. Near-death experiences, or NDEs, have captivated human imagination for centuries. Tales of journeys to the afterlife, encounters with deceased loved ones, and profound feelings of peace are woven into the fabric of many cultures. But are these experiences simply hallucinations of a dying brain? Or could they be glimpses into a realm beyond our understanding? Dr. Bruce Grayson, a psychiatrist at the University of Virginia, has dedicated his career to studying NDEs. Dr. Grayson has interviewed and analyzed hundreds of individuals who have reported NDEs. What he's found is that these experiences, while deeply personal, often share striking similarities. People from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and belief systems consistently describe feelings of peace, a sense of leaving their bodies, encountering a bright light, and even communicating with deceased relatives. The consistency of these reports, regardless of cultural or religious background, is particularly intriguing. It suggests that there might be a universal human experience associated with the process of dying. Some scientists propose that NDEs are simply the brain's way of coping with the trauma of approaching death, a kind of neurological defense mechanism. However, many NDE accounts involve details that the individuals couldn't have known otherwise, details later verified to be accurate. This raises the question, if NDEs are merely hallucinations, how can they contain information that the experiencer had no way of knowing? Dr. Grayson's research, while not definitive proof of an afterlife, highlights the profound mysteries surrounding consciousness and the nature of death. Let's dive into the AWARE study, led by Dr. Sam Parnia. Hundreds of patients experiencing cardiac arrest, their hearts stopping. Parnia's team tracked consciousness during these moments, they placed visual cues where patients might see them. Some patients recalled details from the room despite no brain activity. This brings us to one of the biggest mysteries in science and philosophy, the mind-body problem. For centuries, we've grappled with the relationship between our physical selves and our conscious experience. Is the mind simply a product of the brain, like software running on a computer? Or is it something more fundamental, perhaps even existing independently? The AWARE study, with its intriguing findings, throws a cosmic curveball into this age-old debate. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, consciousness isn't confined to the physical realm as we currently understand it. Think about it. If someone can accurately recall events that happened while their brain showed no signs of activity, what does that say about the nature of consciousness? Is it possible that our consciousness, our very essence, isn't bound by the limitations of our physical bodies? Of course, more research is needed. We need to replicate these findings, explore different angles, and approach this puzzle with both scientific rigor and open minds. The AWARE study might just be a glimpse into a reality far stranger than we ever imagined. Let's shift gears now and explore the controversial world of mediumship. At the University of Arizona, Dr. Gary Schwartz, a researcher with a penchant for pushing boundaries, decided to study mediums under controlled conditions. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mediums, spirits, isn't that a bit out there? But remember, science is about exploring the unknown, even if it seems strange at first. Schwartz's experiments were designed to eliminate fraud and minimize bias. He brought in mediums and participants who had no prior connection. The mediums were then asked to connect with and provide information about the participants' deceased loved ones. And the results? Well, in many cases, the mediums provided incredibly specific details, names, dates, personal memories, even information that wasn't publicly available. This wasn't just vague guessing, folks. This was detailed, accurate information that left both the participants and some of the researchers astounded. Now, I'm a scientist, and I approach these things with a healthy dose of skepticism. But I also believe in following the evidence wherever it may lead. And in the case of Dr. Schwartz's work, the evidence, while controversial, is compelling. Could these mediums actually be communicating with surviving consciousness? Or is there another explanation, some unknown mechanism of information transfer that we're just beginning to understand? These are questions that science needs to grapple with. We can't simply dismiss things because they seem impossible or challenge our current understanding of the universe. Remember, the universe doesn't care about our preconceived notions. It's through rigorous investigation, open-mindedness, and a willingness to explore the unknown that we make groundbreaking discoveries. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, these mediumship studies will lead us to a deeper understanding of consciousness and what happens after we shuffle off this mortal coil. Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because we're about to venture into the strange and unexplained world of the Scole experiment. Picture this: a quaint farmhouse in England in the 1990s, a place where the veil between our world and the next seemed remarkably thin. The Scole experiment, named after the village where it took place, was a series of meticulously documented seances conducted over several years. A group of researchers, including scientists and skeptics, teamed up with a group of psychics to see if they could, under controlled conditions, contact and interact with what they believed to be discarnate entities. And what they documented was nothing short of extraordinary. Voices, seemingly from beyond, were recorded on tape, sometimes speaking in languages unknown to those present. Lights danced in the darkness, objects moved inexplicably, and messages, often containing specific information, appeared on sealed photographic plates. The Scole experiment, with its meticulous documentation and rigorous protocols, became one of the most compelling and controversial investigations into the paranormal. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ghosts? Voices from beyond? Isn't this a bit far-fetched? But here's the thing about science. It's not about dismissing the unexplained, it's about investigating it. The Scole experiment raised profound questions about the nature of reality and the limits of our perception. The universe is full of mysteries, folks, and it's through careful observation and experimentation that we unlock its secrets. The idea of mediums communicating with the dead has been around for centuries. But what if there's more to it than just parlor tricks and cold readings? What if there's a genuine connection being made? Researchers at the University of Virginia studied mediums' ability to provide accurate information about deceased individuals. The results were intriguing. Mediums demonstrated a statistically significant ability to provide accurate details. Could these mediums be tapping into a realm of existence we are just beginning to understand? Humans have a history of attributing unexplained phenomena to supernatural forces. It's natural to seek meaning in a chaotic universe. Science often explains what was once considered supernatural. Findings from the University of Virginia are thought-provoking, but not conclusive proof of life after death. More research is needed to explore alternative explanations. The scientific method shines here. Critical thinking and rigorous testing refine our understanding. This field pushes us to confront the boundaries of our knowledge. Who knows what incredible discoveries await us? For centuries, we've equated consciousness with the brain. Our thoughts, emotions, our sense of self all seem to reside within that 3-pound organ. But what if consciousness is far more expansive and mysterious? Dr. Stuart Hameroff proposes that consciousness arises from quantum processes within brain cells. This suggests a paradigm shift in our understanding of consciousness. Imagine quantum principles at play within our brains. Hameroff theorizes that microtubules could be the seat of these quantum processes. These microtubules act like quantum computers, giving rise to consciousness. The implications of this theory are astounding. Imagine a universe where consciousness is an intrinsic aspect of reality, where death is a transition to a different state of being. Hameroff's theory is captivating but has critics. Quantum biology is in its infancy, and applying quantum mechanics to the brain is monumental. Consciousness is far more complex and mysterious than we assumed. We are living in an age of discovery, blurring the lines between physics, biology, and consciousness. Consciousness might be a fundamental force woven into the cosmos, and that is a truly awe-inspiring thought. Near-death experiences have fascinated cultures for centuries. They often involve peace, out-of-body sensations, and journeys through tunnels of light. But what if these experiences are products of our own brains? Researchers at Imperial College London explore similarities between near-death experiences and DMT effects. DMT induces intense, short-lasting psychedelic experiences with vivid hallucinations. The human brain is complex and fascinating. Slight alterations in brain chemistry can lead to profound changes in perception. Could extreme stress trigger the release of DMT, leading to these experiences? The similarities between the two are hard to ignore. Near-death experiences are profoundly real to those who have them, often impacting their lives and beliefs. Understanding neurochemicals like DMT offers a scientific lens to study these phenomena. Our brains construct our reality, our sense of self, our perception of the world, our experiences of love, fear, and wonder. This research raises fascinating questions about the nature of consciousness itself. We may find that the line between the physical and the metaphysical is more permeable than we ever imagined. When we look up at the night sky, we all see the same stars, the same moon. It's a shared experience that transcends cultures. Near-death experiences might share universal threads. Researchers at the University of Tehran investigated this. They analyzed NDEs from diverse backgrounds. What they found was striking. Consistent elements in NDEs were reported. Peace, bright lights, and floating sensations, reported by people from all walks of life. Now, it's important to note that this Tehran study wasn't about proving or disproving any particular afterlife theory. What it did was highlight the striking commonalities in how people from vastly different backgrounds experience something as profound as nearing death. The researchers weren't just looking at anecdotal accounts either. They applied rigorous scientific analysis, comparing and contrasting experiences, looking for patterns and anomalies. And the patterns they found were difficult to ignore. This study underscores the need for a broader, more inclusive approach to studying consciousness. For too long, this field has been dominated by Western perspectives, but to truly unravel the mysteries of the mind, we need to factor in the rich tapestry of human experience from every corner of the globe. So, while we don't have all the answers, the Tehran study provides a tantalizing glimpse into the possibility that certain aspects of the near-death experience might be universal, hinting at a shared human experience that transcends cultural boundaries and perhaps even the boundaries of life itself. We've explored concepts from gamma-wave surges to consciousness outside the body, but we must approach these topics with scientific skepticism. Some believe near-death experiences are rooted in how our brains respond to extreme stress. Imagine your brain as a computer. When pushed to its limit, it can glitch. These glitches might manifest as vivid hallucinations or feelings of detachment. One psychological theory suggests that NDEs might be linked to dissociation. This is where a person feels disconnected from their thoughts, feelings, and body. Often triggered by trauma, it can produce experiences similar to NDEs. Another theory points to neurochemicals released during extreme stress. Endorphins, the body's natural painkillers, could contribute to feelings of peace and euphoria. These theories don't invalidate a spiritual component to NDEs, but highlight the brain's complexity. From neuroscience labs to seance rooms, the quest to understand death continues. We've explored groundbreaking studies and the mysteries of consciousness. No definitive proof exists, but our experiments challenge science. The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. With continued research, we may unlock the secrets of consciousness and death. Until then, the mystery endures, a cosmic question mark.